early 2000s, we saw the book-to-movie adaptation wave that was soaring through Hollywood, specifically in the 2010s where the YA trope took off. Some adaptations were really good and others were a thing that happened. Shock to nobody, I love book-to-movie adaptations. I'm not kidding, most of my DVD collections are book adaptations. Over the years, I have learned to think of book adaptations as cinematic fanfiction and not actual remakes of them. And through the multiple movies of teens acted by adults that were thrown into the most unholy and dangerous situations that made us appreciate our boring lives, was one movie that stuck with me. And that was The Mortal Instruments, City of Bones. Man, that's a long title. My friends think I'm insane about having the movie on DVD. Mostly I play it on the TV while I'm working or tidying the house, so I have watched it very fragmented. But I do enjoy the visuals of it and the exciting but very foggy memory of when I first watched it. But one day I figured, why not watch it completely? And so I sat down on the couch to figure out if the movie was as good as I remember it. Oh boy, this is going to be one hell of a ride. For those who don't know, The Mortal Instruments City of Bones is an adaptation of the first book by the same name in the Shadowhunter saga by Cassandra Clare. A franchise with so many books. So many! Even Hamilton will be jealous. The movie premiered in 2013 and was mainly a Canadian-German production. The most out-of-pocket combination for an urban fantasy set in New York? But okay. As the movie starts, we meet Clary Frey, interpreted by Lily Collins, your angsty teenager who lives with her artist mother Jocelyn in a small apartment in Brooklyn. She seems like a normal girl, except that she's obsessed with drawing a certain symbol unconsciously. We're being told she should go to a poetry reading with a friend. At said poetry reading, we meet Simon Lewis, her nerdy friend who is oblivious to girls hitting on him, and we already know he has a thing for her and it's not gonna end up well.
Simon?
He's like my brother.
I doubt he feels that way.
Also, parenthesis, this is the most teenage angst poetry reading I've ever heard. Just look at the background characters. How are they not breaking character? After that horrible presentation, they decide to head home, except that on their way, Clary sees a symbol on top of the club called Pandemonium. Obviously, she wants to ask about said symbol, except she seems to be the only one who sees it. They are let inside the club, but Clary seems not to care and drags Simon along with her.
What are they doing?
Oh no! Gringe!
In the club, Clary watches interaction between Blue Eyes with Spikes and a mysterious girl, just to end up with him getting killed. Clary, naturally, panics, except she seems to be the only one to have watched that. Simon drags her out of the club before she makes a bigger scene. Anyways, Clary thinks it's all over until the next day she wakes up surrounded by drawings and drawings of that weird symbol. Dude, I don't understand how this girl doesn't just tell her mother or something so that she can take her to therapy. She just runs away and asks Simon as if he knew about it. Girl, he's more lost than you are. As if it weren't enough, this guy, who was the one she saw at the club, appears to her as if he were a paralysis demon. Whatever, she decides to ask him what is going on because yeah, what the heck is happening? And he tells her she isn't mundane. Which to everyone who's unaware, a mundane is just a regular human. And the best dialogue scene comes up.
Killer. A cold-blooded killer.
As opposed to a peace-loving killer.
Art, ladies and gents. Art.
Then bam, Clary's mom calls her, but she denies the call. Girl, how are you still alive? If I did that to my mom, I will have disintegrated after he didn't deny. But that just shows that she has definitely plot immunity. The call is important because on the other side of the city, her mom is literally fighting for her life against these two dudes looking for the cop. Listen, I know they are meant to look scary, but can we look at those haircuts? By the way, the bad haircut seems to be a common occurrence between the bad guys. So if you see one with a bad haircut, it's probably a bad guy in this film. Also, during the fight scene, I found very satisfying when Jocelyn just hits with a pan any of these dudes because the sound is amazing. After Clary argues with our peace-loving killer and looks like an absolute maniac to everyone else, she finally answers her phone. And her mom tells her,
You can't come home, you understand me? You don't come home. You call Luke, tell him Valentine's alive and that he found me.
This is the moment she realizes something is definitely wrong and decides to go home. The place is absolutely trashed. Her mother has disappeared. But even though it seems like the place is empty, she finds herself face to face with a dog. Now, I thought the dog will do nothing until we find out that the dog is not an actual dog. Trying to defend herself, Clary tries to... Wait, what is she doing? Wait, why are you opening the gas? Girl, do you know what that will do? You're insane! Going to... I can't be the only one who thought that she survived purely by luck. Personally, I don't believe that hiding behind the fridge protected her from such a tremendous explosion. And as if that weren't enough, that thing regenerates. So that was completely useless. But she is saved at the last minute by the blonde guy we met earlier. So hooray, I guess. This blonde guy is Jace, a shadow hunter. Shadow hunters are basically warriors who protect humans from the shadow world and demons while keeping everyone and everything in order. And with the help of Dorothea, the dancer tarotist who's actually a witch, we find out that Clary's mother was a shadow hunter as well. Now, from this movie, I didn't remember Clary being so double standard. Like, first of all, she gets angry at Simon for not answering a call from her mother when she was the first one to deny her call, wonders how she can trust Jace even though he has saved her life before, or when she says that she doesn't believe in tarot reading from Dorothea even though Jace has confirmed she is indeed a real-life witch. This line just explains her dissonant thoughts so well. She says it with such conviction, but it's so stupid.
Why? I don't remember anything she'd want me to forget.
Moving on, we are informed that Clary has a mental block that was preventing her from remember anything about the Shadowhunter world in her life. So we have to find a way to unlock them. So now, Clary, Jace, and Simon, who they picked up on the way, go to Luke's place as Clary's mom told her. There, we meet again with these two bad guys who are very, very distasteful. Specifically this one, are interrogating Luke on where the cup is, which seems to be an important object. This will be crucial for the story forward. When they try to help Luke out, they get attacked by demons. And how convenient, the rescue mission is unsuccessful. They go somewhere safe, known as the Institute, a church transformed into headquarters for Shadowhunters in New York. Not even 3 steps in, Clary passes out because she got bit by one of the demons before. When? How? I don't even know, but I guess she did. And even though she had an argument after argument with Jace and trust issues with him, she says the most out-of-pocket thing in the verge of dying.
Is this the part when you start tearing off pieces of your shirt to bind my wounds?
But that's not all. Jace responds,
Wanted me to take my clothes off. You should have just asked.
What's going on? Simon's expression is the same one I had. So from here on, we know that Jace and Clary will be the main couple in the movie. Very subtly. So they cure her by using a rune. A rune is a symbol that is drawn on a Shadowhunter's skin that gives them abilities. This just reinforces the idea that Clary is also a shadow hunter like her mother. There we meet Alec and Isabel, shadow hunters and siblings in the New York Institute. One is Jay's parabatide or brother-in-arms, and the other one is just the girl of the Institute. After Clary's up and running, she meets Hutch, the one in charge of the Institute. Here we are giving some, if not tons, of lore. So, listen up. So, the origin of Shadowhunters is that Crusader summoned an angel named Raziel who poured his blood into a cup and told the Crusaders to go bottoms up on it and became Shadowhunters, humans with angel blood. So there is one thing I don't get. Throughout the movie, we see that Shadowhunters hate and despise mundanes, although I do not comprehend it because Shadowhunters are supposed to be half angel, half human. So, I don't know, I guess that's just hypercritic. I don't know. Shadowhunters are either born from Shadowhunters or have to drink from the cup to become Shadowhunters. However, this latter is very dangerous as it's not reliable that the person will survive. They also inform us that vampires, werewolves, and warlocks are real and are known as downworlders.
Downworlders? What is that, like people below 14th Street?
I found hilarious that when Simon asked about zombies, Isabel was like, are you insane? There's no such thing as zombies. Like, okay, vampires, werewolves, and warlocks are a thing, but zombies is pushing it? Cut the guy some slack! Another thing I noticed in this movie is that all Shadowhunters have an English accent. So, anyone, and I do mean anyone, who has an English accent in the movies are Shadowhunters, while everyone who doesn't have one are non-Shadowhunters. So I headcanon that having an English accent is a requirement for becoming a Shadowhunter. That's why Clary is the odd one out. Actually, in reality, Lily Collins is English, but she lost her English accent with time. I guess that's what happened to Clary? Talk about natural acting. We're also told, man, this movie has a lot of exposition in dialogue. Okay. That Valentine is after the Moral Cup because he wants to recreate Shadowhunters and keep the race alive. Okay, what's with race and purity of blood in YA books? Like Harry Potter shows this with pure bloods too. It's kinda terrifying. Fast forward all dialogue. Clary is taken to the City of Bones. Finally, we understand the title fully. To talk with the Silent Brothers, who can help restore Clary's memory. But, yet again, we do not succeed at all, as the magic from the block is too powerful. But we're informed that the person that did the magic was no other than Magnus Bane. Now, Magnus Bane is a high warlock of New York, so he is the big thing, it seems. The crew decides to sneak into a party to talk to him, but the meeting is cut short, apart from nothing happening and it being a waste of time yet again, because Simon is taken by vampires. Insert here side quest. Save Simon. Dude, I just think everyone hates Simon. The world hates Simon. Apart from his best friend Clary not listening to him, being rejected, being the second love interest in a love triangle that is not gonna get the girl, he gets kidnapped by vampires, almost killed, and the entire crew just keeps hating him for being a mundane. Like, poor guy. I feel like Simon is the most relatable character, and he just keeps getting into trouble he never asked for. As if you think it's bad in the movie. In the books, it's even worse. Cassandra Clare doesn't let this guy have a breather. Oh, right. And I almost forgot. This is a YA movie, so we had to add a little bit of romantic tension. Why am I even watching this again? To recap what happens later, Jace and Clary just flirt, I guess. He shows her the portal at the Institute, and they kiss in the greenhouse. This movie is very good at making the start very action driven and then slow down the rest of the movie. Like, there is no plot development at all for like 25 minutes, but it feels like an hour somehow. Then Jace and Clary have a huge fight due to a misunderstanding. They should be 17 going on 18 in the movie specifically, but their relationship, who mind you, they probably have like 2 days of knowing each other, and that's pushing it, is broken in like 5 seconds from a simple misunderstanding.
Oh, stress! Oh my god, stress!
Also, Simon sabotages Clary's drawing of Jace because he's angry, and Clary's reaction is so underwhelming and too forgiving. If you are an artist and your friend did this to one of your drawings, you will be swinging punches. No questions asked. Well, I know I would. We then learn and listen to this that Clary oh my god, that Clary has the ability of turning objects into drawings and taking them out. And I'm just why are always YA protagonists given either Gary Sue or Mary Sue? There, she realizes something. Remember that in the tarot scene at the beginning, there was an Ace of Cups? Well, that is not a regular cup, but the mortal cup. So Clary decides to take Jace and the team back to Dorothea's to get the card. Except the Dorothea we meet there is not the Dorothea we know. Fighting scene ensues, Alec gets hurt, and we have to go back to the Institute. There, Clary informs Hutch about the cup, but to no one's surprise, Hutch is working for Valentine. And okay, I cannot take this villain seriously. Like, what is with the shirtless outfit and the hair, dude? It's giving Zoolander. Here is the big reveal. Clary's ability is because Valentine experimented on her when she was a baby using the mortal cup. Here he then pulls a Darth Vader. And Clary finally does the most intelligent thing for the entire movie. She pulls this move of introducing the cup back into the card to avoid Valentine using the cup. About time, woman! You were starting to look somewhat foolish! Thank goodness you reacted! From here on, the entire Institute is attacked by Valentine and some demons he summons, and then it's up to these teenagers to protect the Institute. Minus Alec, cause he's injured. More action and fighting keeps going on in the background. And then from nowhere, Magnus arrives to help Alec heal. But he doesn't really do anything. Near the end, they give us the worst plot twist in the world. Even in the books, is the worst plot twist ever. Listen up! Valentine tells Jace that he is his son. Meaning that Jace and Clary are siblings. Okay, the movie shows a scene before that of Hutch and Valentine's thinking about lying to both Jace and Clary, specifically to destroy their relationship. So Clary is Valentine's daughter, but Jace is not related to any of them. He is just the one that's being lied to. I love that the movie goes through this before the reveal, and it's still just horrifying because that scene is very forgettable. But the most insane part is this is not resolved. So at the end of the movie, Jace and Clary still think they're siblings, but they seem to have put it in the back burner. After the movie goes, they save the Institute. Valentine doesn't get the cup. They save Clary's mother, although she's in a coma, and there is an open ending referring to a second movie. It's wild. There are so many things I don't even know where to start. What did I like about the movie? Mostly, I feel like I like to watch it because it's very visually appealing. The sets have a very nice design. I like the dark aspects of the world, and the CGI and special effects have aged very well for a 2013 movie. One thing I noticed is they used a lot Chekhov's gun theory a lot, and it's very satisfying. Like in the Vampire Quest, Jace gives Clary a weapon he explains for a while, and she later uses it to defend herself in the last minute. Or when they show us a fake cup, and later Clary uses it to trick Valentine. Then we have a scene with a partiture that is supposed to be uncomfortable to demon ears, and later that partiture is used to uncover a demon. It's neat. Another thing I love is Jace. He's great, and Jamie Campbell portrays him incredibly. There are so many one-liners and comebacks that are just like chef's kiss. I also like Simon very much. Now, personally, I love Alberto Rosende as Simon in the TV series, but Robert Sheehan was also entertaining to watch. In fact, his line delivery was neat. It captures the nerdiness and nervousness of Simon's character, so I thought that was great. So, what did I not like after rewatching it for real this time? First things first, Isabel's character is utterly butchered in this movie. In the books, Isabel is sassy and confident and gorgeous. I feel her portrayal in the TV series is much more accurate, while in the movie they make her very serious and not very strong when she's alone. It almost feels like a token girl in the film next to Clary. Some of the lines are weird. I cannot explain it, but the delivery feels forced. And it's very noticeable actors are reading from a script. An example of this is Magnus and Clary's conversation. It felt robotic and definitely unsalvageable at times. One thing I noticed about this movie is that sadly the best way to enjoy it is if you read the books and know about the world. If you don't, you are most likely going to be lost. Because I had already read the Mortal Instruments series, I already knew about certain mechanics of the world and importances of side quests, which is a shame. Most of books adaptations, even though they are based on these books, they should be comprehensible to people outside of the reader's audience. The movie should be a good movie in general. Subplots are not fully developed, and even the characters are disregarded to focus on Clary and Jace. Not even Valentine is developed, and he is the villain of the story and falls flat. Now, do I like the movie? I know by now some people are gonna be appalled, but I did enjoy the movie. It's not a good movie, not by a long shot. It is one of those bad movies that are good.
Not bad.
Not bad, but not good.
Yeah.
It is a very YA movie. It has the typical tropes and is very predictable at times. It has good action, but don't expect something very deep. Thanks for watching.